85 degrees here at kickoff. Kevin Wheeler and David Day with you tonight in the battle of the Panthers. The High Point Panthers and the Pitt Panthers.
And the High Point Panthers are in purple tonight, playing from left to right, and the Pitt Panthers are in all white, playing from right to left as we get going here tonight.
Alfred Boffey with the first chance of the game out wide. Can't quite get there.
Yeah, we talked about in the open, both these sides played Friday night. That's a heck of a quick turnaround under any normal circumstances. Coach Haynes talking about the fact that his squad is healthy. Coach Vidovic did not have the same comments. Talked about the fact that illness has gone through the team this week, and they're looking to guy out this performance, see if they can get themselves a result before they head down to North Carolina at the weekend.
Yeah, the weekend game looming is huge for Pitt in terms of ACC implications, but they do have to take care of business here, and it's kind of just pick up your lunch pail, move on from the Friday 1-0 shutout loss to Cal here. Very disappointing loss for them. They have to move on and play quickly, and sometimes that might be the best case scenario for Jay Vidovic's Pitt Panthers. Just kind of move on quickly. No week to dwell on it in between games. You got to play on Monday night a couple days later.
100%. Get back on the horse, and you know, two of those guys that are getting back on the horse tonight, Willamette Jana and Sorensen, back in the lineup for Pitt. So they have fought their way through the illness. But Casper Svenby, the right back, will not play tonight. He is suffering with it. And there's a lot of guys out there that have overcome this illness that's gone through the squad. Coach Vidovic talked about the fact that basically it lasts about 4 days, and they've just been treating it with medication and rest. And so these guys will be hoping that they can get themselves back on winning terms tonight. But, you know, High Point will show no mercy, and they'll be looking to see if they can beat this #1 Pitt team and impose a second loss in 4 days for them.
In response to Casper Svenby being out tonight, who's played every game so far this year, Michael Sullivan will slide into that right back position. Jack of all trades is Mike Sullivan. Kind of move all over the formations, done that in the last couple of games. Had to start at center back on Friday night, was starting in the holding center midfield position before that. Now tonight finds himself in the right back spot.
Yeah, now we'll say Coach Vidovic offered no excuses in regards to the loss. He said he actually thought that the team played really well, controlled the ball. I think they had over 80% possession. Just weren't able to capitalize, and the Cal Golden Bears executed their game plan. They got themselves on the score sheet and stayed strong defensively. And so for Pitt, it's all about getting on the score sheet. We've talked so many times about the importance of the first goal, and tonight's no different. Both these teams will be looking to get on the board, establish their presence on the game, and execute their game plans.
Saw it in the open. Pitt with the nation's best +23 goal differential to this point. They outshot the Cal Golden Bears by 14 on Friday. It was 18-4 margin. Had 12 corner kicks in the match as well, but just could not find that finishing touch. And that was eventually their demise. And the one goal was really the only clean look that Cal had at the net all night long. Nonso Adimabua capitalizes on the turnover at Pitt's back line. But other than that, it was really a Pitt-controlled game. Cal didn't have many chances or possession at all, but all that matters is the final scoreline.
Yeah, but, you know, in Cal's defense, they certainly had a good defensive game plan. Their goalkeeper played extremely well, and they did what they wanted to do coming in here, and so they'll be certainly happy with the outcome of that game, and they won't care about what the other statistics look like other than the 1-0.
Meanwhile, for High Point, 7-game win streak, the nation's longest win streak right now. Outscoring their teams handedly during, or their opponents handedly during that stretch of time. A team that doesn't have any conference losses in 5 years, just an unbelievable stat line. High Point has risen to become one of those top mid-major programs that find themselves in the NCAA tournament every single year. As we see now, Pitt will get their first corner of the match. There's Zach Haynes, back-to-back Big South Coach of the Year. He's been able to make it to the NCAA tournament 3 of the last 5 seasons. Year number 6 for Haynes.
And they started the season 0-2-2 and have been on a 7-game win streak since then, so they're definitely in great form coming in here to Pittsburgh.
First corner of the match, off the foot of Guilherme Feitosa. That was headed in by, I believe it was Jackson Gilman over there. Pitt maintains possession. This one, a curler from Feitosa just over the crossbar. What a chance from Feitosa.
Good look from Feitosa there. Just wasn't able to get it down enough. Just went over the crossbar on the far side there. But that's a good look, and he'll be looking to have another crack at it. Grenning, persistent, wins the ball back, gets it to Feitosa. Just lines one up. Can't quite lob the goalie.
Feitosa for a while there, but now has no points in his last 4 games. Member of the ACC preseason watch list. And this team's assist leader.
Yeah, he's the one of the biggest leaders on this Pitt team. He's really had a great season to this point, and you know, he doesn't always have to score the goals to help his team win.
Feitosa battling through the illness as well. Played sick on Friday. Hopefully feeling better today as he gets another start.
Yeah, I think that'll be the real test for the Panthers tonight, is are their legs there? You know, High Point was able to have a 5-0 relatively comfortable win on Friday night, so they had a kind of different type of game. For the Panthers, extended minutes for a lot of guys due to some other people being out of action on Friday, and so, you know, that's just compounds the physical toll it takes on a player, having to play the full 90 and then getting back out there on the, you know, a couple days later. And so, you know, High Point's in a similar sort of situation, but they were able to manage their roster and their depth a little bit better in that victory on senior night down in North Carolina.
First touch for Brendan Kruger. Turns it over. This ball up top for Alfred Boffey. Service in here. Might have been deflected. Yes, it was on the way in. Corner kick coming for the High Point Panthers.
And this is one of the areas that High Point's going to be able to have some success tonight. You know, they like their set pieces. Jefferson Amea's over there going to deliver the ball. They got some nice big targets that are getting up there, and they have been successful on the set pieces. They're looking to be brave on the ball tonight and make sure that they're able to be aggressive in this game.
Zach Haynes called Jefferson Amaya a restart specialist. Curling into the box. Settles at the top. Now a shot deflected again. Still space down there. Carter eventually dives for it.
DiFrancesco was looking to find a way through there, found the ball at his feet, but the Panthers closed in on him quickly. I guess I have to say the Pitt Panthers and be more specific, but you'll see Pitt defending here. They clear the initial corner, but the ball gets played back in, and right there it bounces to DiFrancesco, but he just can't get a clean shot. A team of the Pittsburgh Panthers are around him trying to snuff out his ability to shoot the ball. DiFrancesco, the freshman, having an outstanding first campaign for High Point. Got himself on the score sheet a number of times. 3 goals, 3 assists coming into this one. Doing some great things as a first-year player on this side.
Zach Haynes said Frankie DiFrancesco is playing about as well as you possibly could be as a true freshman.
Yes, high praise. His coach talked about the fact that he's got a huge career ahead of him and really high ceiling.
Bo Jans has this deflected, so another corner coming now for High Point.
Yeah, and you see High Point with that game plan. They knew they can't be passive tonight. They got to find ways to be aggressive and create transition moments. Be brave on the ball. We talked about that. And they're certainly going to look to play their game against Pitt, challenge them, see if they can get themselves on the score sheet first. So vital in any game. But really, to be able to beat Pitt, that's a key indicator.
Amaya with another corner coming. Had an assist on a corner on Friday against Longwood.
And it'll be a good challenge for Pitt to be able to fight off these set pieces and defend them well. Have to make sure that they don't give second chances. to High Point, who will capitalize. They've got a lot of talented players on the top end of the field, balanced score and attack.
High press here from High Point. They win possession. Kentucky transfer Boffey gets the run going. Pitt steps in and takes it away. Now a long shot from about 24, 30 yards out or so.
Yeah, it was a nice stick there by the utility man, Sullivan. You can plug him in anywhere. Playing right back tonight. High Point buzzing around the box. You see Sully there, time it very nicely and clear it away. High Point is able to get the shot off, but it's too high and not really dangerous to Cabral Carter. And we'll see how High Point chooses to press and if Pitt's able to play out of the back successfully. High Point averaging 3 goals a game. Their last 6. So coming into this match, they've really been banging the ball into the back of the net at a good clip. Pitt themselves has only been shut out twice, and that was in their 2 losses, 2 1-0 losses, one at Penn early in the season, and the other one, as you mentioned, Friday night here against Cal.
Already tonight, compared to what we saw Friday with Pitt and Cal, Pitt had the ball for so much of that game. Already tonight, High Point making their presence felt. Said that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to create some transition moments, hold on to the ball in those tight spaces, but they wanted to be aggressive and pick their spots to do so, and they've done that already here tonight. A couple of corners already.
Yeah, and for many games it's been Pitt's depth which has really helped them see teams off in the second half, and tonight that may be more of a challenge. High Point is definitely going to challenge the Panthers on the ball, pick their moments to press, see if they can disrupt them, and look to transition quickly when they can win the ball. They've got some breakout speed either side of the pitch.
Pitt moving slowly into the attacking third now. Nicholas Sorensen, number 5 in white, and 14 Villamajana, both back tonight after being out Friday. Nice backheel touch by Bertrand, trying to leave it for Sam Cowell, but High Point cleans it up.
Bertrand is a guy I'm really interested to see how his night go. He played his first full 90 minutes of college action on Friday night in the attacking center midfield role. Freshman from Spain, really getting a good dose of college ball right now. So we'll see, does he get tired from playing 90 on Friday, or does he find even more energy, even more legs, and use his experience of playing the 90 on Friday to be able to impact this game tonight? He's definitely capable of some lively runs in behind, and you can see Pitt's looking for him. They'll continue to spread the ball around and try to stretch out High Point and see for where they can attack, which points they can attack. See if they can force a mistake from the Purple Panthers.
There you go. Got to be more specific tonight.
I know, right?
It's tough. Feitosa with some space in front of him, connects with his buddy Sam Cowell. Out wide to Albert Thorson. Cross in and grabbed there by Josh Karen. Karen back now for the 2nd straight game, was out with an injury for a while. Luke Snyder, the redshirt junior, stepped in and did a nice job, went 5-0 during that stretch, but Karen back in there now between the pipes for High Point. Karen last year's 2nd team all-conference and a member of the all-freshman team as well.
See Albert Thorson working his way out of a jam over on that right-hand side. We'll see how his game might be impacted tonight by playing without his countryman Svenby, who normally plays right back.
Pitt will play differently tonight without Svenby as well.
Yeah, they won't be quite as much of an open wheel defensive strategy as they like to get up that right-hand side and really open it up. High Point, we've seen them play a similar way where Bo Yance gets up the left-hand side, and we'll see how those matchups impact the outcome of this game. Sullivan's a really strong player, but he can't do the things he can do from that right-back position. I wondered if perhaps we might see Sully play centre-back and Jackson Gilman perhaps play the right-hand side, or even Sorensen, but Pitt's chosen to go with their, sort of regular centre-back partnership of Sorensen and Gilman and just plug Sullivan into that right-back role.
Here's Maiufo's run. He was fouled by Blondell.
Yeah, he took a whack, and Pitt's going to have the ball as a result.
Casper Grenning, right-footed cross. Defended well by High Point.
Pitt wins it back quickly, though. Really able to press and get that ball back when they lose possession. That's a key factor of their game, is when they do lose possession, they work to win it back really quick, and especially their attacking players helping out the defensive cause by doing so. They'll look to really take care of the ball and try to establish their will on this game, implement their possession-based attack, but find opportunities and moments to penetrate.
Filimidjana up to Feitosa, trying to make an individual move. Ball loose for a moment and cleared out.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of room for Feitosa to operate in right there. He was in a tight spot and tried to fight his way out of it, but just couldn't. Feitosa's another one. I want to see how his legs hold up tonight, how many minutes he's got in him, if he's back to his normal self, so to speak. Midfield matchup's going to be really interesting tonight. Ross Johnston, the San Diego transfer, playing for High Point. He's got the captain's armband on there.
Nice idea, looking for Thorson up top there by Sullivan, sending it up. Too much on it. Grenning comes back to win the ball. Pitt will settle it. We said on Friday, David, that Jay Vidovich was 0-2-0 against Cal all-time in his career.
Yeah.
Still winless against the Golden Bears.
Yep.
It's even more impressive, really, when you talk about Pitt's strength on this particular field. Since 2020 at home, they're 36-6-7. Just so rare for opponents to get results.
See, there's Johnston kind of forcing Bertrand off the ball there and helps High Point get forward. Again, some of those matchups we're going to look at, and it looks like High Point's won himself a corner here.
High Point, top 25 in the country in scoring.
And there's Sorensen, wasn't really able to get it out of there, and DiFrancesco gets a deflection off him, and now it's going to be another set-piece opportunity for High Point.
Amaya will take it. Curling in, comes out the back, was looking for Lucas Camrath. Boffey with a nice touch. Grenning will clear it.
One of the goals we saw High Point score against Longwood over the weekend was Amaya with the corner, finding Ross Johnston. He's a big, strong lad, so I'm sure that they'll be looking to target him again on those set pieces. But Grenning's been doing a good job defending and getting back and helping on those set piece opportunities.
2 Kentucky transfers on this field tonight, in Boffey and Grenning.
Yeah, and Grenning's been a real bright addition to this Pitt team. Got a great engine on him, always dangerous down this left-hand side.
Has a chance now. Slowed there by Finn Geigel. That'll be a battle we watch all night long between Geigel and Grenning.
Really like how Grenning plays the game. He gets after it. As you would say, Kev, he's got that dog in him. Leaves it all out there on the field. Got a great competitive spirit. Scored a huge goal against Denver, a beauty of a goal in that big matchup against Denver, which was last Monday, so just a week ago. Pitt was riding that high of kind of knocking off number 6 team in the country and solidifying their #1 ranking. But the upset to Cal Golden Bears really kind of knocked them on their heels a bit, and this is really a key matchup for them tonight to see how they recover and see what they look like in the duration of this game, if they're able to get themselves on the scoreboard, get the victory, how hard they have to work, how they're able to cope and survive, overcoming the illnesses and the limited depth that they have available to them tonight. Talked about Sorensen coming back from illness, Willemit Jama coming back from illness. I thought one of the keys to the disruption against Cal was that Willemit Jama was a late scratch, and I thought that really affected them. He is kind of the pacemaker of the team, sets the rhythm a lot of the time. You'll see the ball flow through him a lot. And so getting Arnie V back in form, back in the lineup, is only going to help the Pitt Panthers.
Flicked out wide by Sam Cow. Run up top here for Boffey. He is speedy up the left side.
Yeah, it's a great turn by him to get by Sullivan. Great recovery by Sullivan to get back and win the ball back and force it out for the throw-in. But I thought that was a great turn to force the breakaway there by Boffey. And Sullivan's going to have his hands full over there tonight.
Ball in, and what a header there by High Point. First goal of the night goes to the Purple Panthers. It's Frankie DiFrancesco. What a beautiful header that was.
Got himself on the end of a cross. Pitt feels like Sorensen was fouled on that. We'll see if the ref goes to take a look. But looked like a solid effort by the young freshman. Gets his side on the board first. Good service into the box. He climbs all over Sorensen's back. We'll see if the ref takes a look at it or not. Sorensen wasn't happy, but you got to use what you got.
Bo Jantz with the cross. Feitosa is pleading for a review here.
Conference going on there.
Don't think they're going to get it.
Doesn't look like the ref wants to go. Have a look.
Man, what a beautiful header from DiFrancesco. 4th goal of the year for him, 2nd on the team. Now with 9 points in his last 6 games.
Yeah, and he's a tough Jersey boy, and he comes to play. You see Jay Vidovic lobbying the 4th official to take a look. I think that they're wondering why the ref wouldn't go to take a look at that, but clearly none of them saw. DiFrancesco getting on Sorensen's back. But hey, you know, didn't get called, and you got to move on. So it's 1-0 High Point. They've taken their opportunity, and now we'll see how Pitt responds, if they're able to get themselves back on level terms, or if High Point continues to be the aggressor in terms of challenging them in their box.
It's about the same point in the game on Friday against Cal that the Golden Bears were able to go up 1-0.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be a real test for Pitt tonight. High Point coming in here flying on a 7-game. The ref called a handball on that one off Kruger. Kruger saying his arm was alongside his body. It wasn't out of natural position, but the ref saw it immediately and called it. So This one's not going to count, but just like that, High Point was in a whisker, within a whisker of being 2-0 up. And Pitt is going to be severely tested right now. See if they can remain calm, stick to their game plan. Can they reestablish their rhythm and their possession? Can they open up High Point of their own?
See the ability of Kruger regardless there. Such a quick trigger in space there in the box.
Yeah, it didn't take much, and High Point got forward quickly as we knew that they intended to do. A lot of scoring threats across the top line for High Point.
High Point ranked number 20 in the top drawer soccer poll this week. Obviously a win here tonight against Pitt would put them into the coaches poll in the top 25. It's hard to ignore such a hot team.
High Point definitely looking for their points to press, and when they do, they go quick. Looking to put Pitt under pressure when they have the opportunities. Pitt looking to get back in their rhythm, see if they can find a way through. And the Pitt Panthers are going to have their hands full all night tonight with the High Point Panthers.
High Point 1-2-1 this year against ranked opponents. Best win, their only win against a ranked opponent, coming against number 17 Elon a couple weeks ago. Played Marshall in Huntington earlier this year, and that was the last time that High Point lost a game. Zach Haynes told us that that game, the early part of their schedule, playing so many tough opponents, really prepared them for this stretch. Feels like it's catapulted them into a new place here with 7 straight wins. You play such tough opponents during that early stretch of the season. He said they learned how to play a 90-minute game. Had a couple of results that just didn't quite go their way because of some lapses and small moments in those early season games, but they've been clean in the last 7. Geigla trying to keep the ball in, can't do it.
Yeah, he talked about the great evolution of his group. A lot of new players were coming in, young guys and transfers, and sometimes it's hard to impose your culture or impose a playing style with a group like that. So he really, scheduled a tough schedule to be able to test his group, to be able to get ready for knockout games later in the season. And I think, being so dominant in the Big South, they have sought out competition outside of their conference to be able to really test themselves so that they're not naive going into, as he mentioned, knockout games later in the season. They see themselves as a team that's knocking on the door of being ranked themselves, and given some of the performances they've had, it's tough to argue with that. Coming here tonight and getting a result against Pitt would really make a big difference in that as well and get some people's attention. So this is a big opportunity for this High Point team on a big stage. You mentioned going down to Marshall. That's a tough place to play. So, it's a great way to test your side. We know what the atmosphere is like down there. They really get into it. There's got as rabid fans as we've seen anywhere in college soccer. And so, you want to be able to expose your team to those kinds of environments and see how they play in that pressure situation. I know that they did have a man sent off in that game, and that might have affected the outcome. I think Marshall ended up having a guy sent off as well. So, those are the type of moments that you see what your team's got, but also you learn from those experiences.
Mayufo trying to connect with Feitos over the top, but Karen's there. So interesting too, David, the amount of games that we do, seems like everybody's 2 degrees of separation away from each other, and there's so many relationships that find themselves to be close within the realm of college soccer. Zach Haynes and Jay Vidovich, another one of them, where Zach Haynes coached under Jamie Franks at Denver for a season before coming to High Point. Of course, Jamie Franks was a player under Jay Vidovich and an assistant coach back at Wake Forest. Jay Vidovich also just happened to coach Zach Haynes back in club ball in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So these relationships just seem to go far and away, and you kind of have to ask about it every game because whether you know about it or not, it seems like everybody knows each other one way or another.
Yeah, it's a big spider web for sure. Jay was Haynes' ODP coach down in North Carolina for a time as well, and talked about what a good player he was on a state level, ended up going to North Carolina. I think Jay's almost forgiven him for that.
Not sure that he has. But they reunite tonight. First time that High Point and Pitt have faced off in 10 years, as we have Mohamed Sadou down on the near side here. There's your two coaches tonight, Haynes on the left, Vidovich on the right. Neither one of these guys was here the last time High Point and Pitt played. That was 10 years ago on this field. It was a 1-0 overtime win for Pitt.
What's overtime?
Not in the regular season anymore.
Yeah, I miss it. Still miss overtime. Used to love me some overtime. Dog piles. You just don't see dog piles like that too often anymore, you know?
Only in the postseason.
Yeah, it was great for momentum to get a nice overtime win.
It's so interesting. You were talking about this earlier. It made me think about the momentum and how a week ago, 7 days ago, Pitt Panthers take down Denver, number 6 in the country, on their home field. Everything's great. 7-game winning streak. It's so interesting what one loss can do. Yeah. And a couple of guys out changes your whole perspective. And then tonight, more adversity for the Pitt Panthers, being down 1-0 on their home field again.
Yeah, and a week in college soccer is an eternity. You know, certainly going to be 2 games and sometimes 3. You know, they've got three games in 8 days. I think we forget about what a load that is to take on for these players. I mean, they are college athletes. And it's really a tough environment. You know, we talked about the illness going through Pitt's team. You know, you got 7, 8, 10 guys sick for 4 days. You don't think about it. That's a massive impact on a squad. And then, you know, this matchup here 4 days after the last one.
This called offside. But a great ball in from Villamajana.
And to finish that point, Wheels, you know, Pitt having a tough time right now. They're going down to North Carolina on Friday, you know, to face the Tar Heels in a top matchup. And, you know, the challenges don't stop. There's nowhere to hide. Let's take a look at this offside decision. Bertrand just leaves a little bit early.
Without a doubt.
Lines on the field help. Kevin Cook's on it over there on the other side, the AR on the other side. So well done to Kevin Cook.
Yeah, we were laughing before the game, David. I mean, we were here Friday. We're back here Monday. It's hard enough for us to turn it around and get ready for another game. I can't imagine having to get out there and run for 90 minutes and be sick at that.
Yeah.
So much of the Pitt roster is. And Jay Vidovich was saying that he's just hopeful that nobody new pops up with an illness tomorrow because they want to try and stay healthy and have this thing work through the team before Friday's match down in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see how this game unfolds. They've got to dig deep at this point in time, and that's really what it's about. Is you got to be able to gut out these games, gut out the results, find a way to win, find a way to score a goal at this point.
Ball up for Feitosa, taken away.
The other thing I was thinking about is that the mental part, you know, the mental sharpness. You can't switch off for a second, and sometimes when you're sick and you're battling through illness, that makes it difficult to be able to stay mentally focused as well, and that just, you can't allow that to happen.
Well, tonight Pitt's going to need a Michael Jordan flu game out of a number of guys.
Yes, they are. You know, but that's what it's all about. Again, you know, all teams face different sets of adversity. High Point's faced or will face adversity of their own, and obviously timing has a lot to do with everything, but the healthier you can stay, the better off you'll be. And Pitt's just going to have to battle their way through this. For High Point, they're going to have different adversities throughout the rest of their season, and they're going to have to battle through that themselves. So that's really the hallmark of the whole thing. We've talked about it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to pace yourself. You got to try and stay healthy. And sometimes when you're not 100%, you got to figure out a way to gut it out. We know that Pitt's got a team full of gamers. Coach has told us that, and we'll see what they've got, see if they can gut out a result tonight.
Well, one thing nobody cares about when it comes tournament time is feeling bad for you because you had some guys sick in a matchup in October on your own field that you happened to lose. When it comes to be that time, a loss is a loss, and you are what your record says you are. As we say all the time, right now Pitt tied with Stanford and Clemson at the top of the ACC standings, all three of those teams with 12 points apiece. North Carolina just behind them with 10. So much more importance on Friday's matchup, but a lot of business to be handled tonight. Just over 65 minutes to play in this one.
Yeah, and I remember talking to Coach Vidovic going into the Cal game, you know, about how ambitious and hungry they were and how they went about improving. And at that point, they were on a 7-game win streak of their own, and it was about, you know, he felt like they had a ton to clean up after each game. So it was part of their process to kind of analyze things and what went right, what went wrong, and how they could continue to get better as a unit. And everything that happens, you use to make yourself stronger for the final stretch.
Turnover in the midfield. Celestin Blondell takes it away. Gets it to Geigla. Back to Blondell. Tries to switch fields for Boffey. Sullivan there.
There's some nice experience on this High Point team. You mentioned Blondell there. Also Ross Johnston, the transfer. Boffey, the transfer. And so they've brought in a number of guys that have come in with experience. And they've really lent on it. They've sought leadership from core players that have been here for a while to make sure that new guys coming in understood the culture, and they've worked to bring in transfers that weren't just fifth-year guys but offered balance to their class rosters in each year. So they really have a balanced roster at this point, and they're happy with the squad that they have. I think they have 6 or 7 freshmen, but 6 or 7 transfers as well, and that as a result of graduating their biggest class ever last year. They graduated 11 or 12 players, and some of them were left over, having had an extra COVID year. And so being able to continue with that team culture and implement your leadership plan and camaraderie, group mentality, team first mentality, it's been really impressive what High Point has been able to continue to do, continue to build with their program.
Boffey with a head of steam. Gilman's there. Yeah,
it was a nice run and a nice read by Gilman to be able to cut it out, because that was a dangerous moment for High Point that they created there. It was a lovely through ball. We've seen them score some really nice goals like that last game. We saw, I think it was Kruger was able to deliver to Blondell for one of their goals. Grenning waving his arms on the left-hand side. I'm not sure if he was waving his arms because he wanted a substitution or because he wanted the ball. I would imagine he was wanting them to find him with the ball. Can't imagine he wants to come off the field.
Another turnover. Boffey with it. Looking for Kruger. Taken away.
Yeah, it was Sullivan broke it up again. But again, High Point ends up with the ball very, very quickly.
Johnstone lines one up. It's deflected by Gilman.
Johnstone, the Englishman from Kent. He's one of those transfers that's been a really nice addition to this side.
Johnstone's interesting. Has 4 goals this year. You know how many goals he had in his career prior to this season?
I'm going to guess none.
4.
Oh.
Matched his career total.
Yeah, I mean,
San Diego transfer, 2-time All-League player in the WCC.
I feel like he was playing further back at his previous institution. Maybe didn't get up the field quite as much.
It's going to be a substitution moment now.
And we'll see who the Pitt Panther is coming out. It's going to be Bertrand. So with Dahl coming in, I would imagine Thorson's going to drift into the number 10 position. We've seen him do that a number of times. I feel like Bertrand was getting bullied off the ball a little bit in that attacking centre midfield position. You saw that matchup with Johnstone wasn't going in his favor a lot. Bertrand definitely was doing some good things with runs off the ball, but he's not the biggest fella, and sometimes it can be tough. And like we mentioned, he'd gone the full 90 on Friday night, so gets a breather here tonight.
Feitosa will line up a free kick. Launches it in. Nobody home. This is something we haven't seen in a little bit, though. The four Panther attackers, Sam Cow, Grenning, Dahl, and Thorson, all on the field together.
Yeah. Well, I think Pitt's looking for some answers and try to play their way out of this struggle that they're in right now. I think they need some of that chemistry, be able to connect in the final third of the field.
Ball up top now. Here's Dahl. Yance with a nice recovery there, and a throw-in coming now for Pitt. Pitt averaging almost 15 shots a game tonight with just one. And a big hand coming from the High Point faithful here at Ambrose Urbanic Field for number 29, Coven Johnson. He comes onto the field, a Pittsburgh native.
Yeah, Johnson, he's got about 50 friends and family in the stands tonight, so big cheer coming there from the Purple Panther contingent. Nice homecoming for him. We knew we'd get to see him, and his coach was excited to give him a run out.
Another nice hand for him as his name gets announced. Captain of Arsenal FC in Pittsburgh for a couple of years. So a true freshman at High Point, and his coach Zach Haynes absolutely loves him. Says he's a dog in the central midfield, relentless, covers more ground than anybody on his roster.
Yeah, and in the data-driven game that it is today, his data's off the charts. Makes plays clean on the ball, and a nice all-around center midfielder.
Looking for Grenning. Couldn't get a touch on it. So we're inside of 6 minutes to play in the first half at Ambrose Urbanic Field. High Point with a 1-0 lead right now, thanks to Frankie DiFrancesco's header. There's another ball up top now. Sorensen able to cover nicely. Looking for Kaya Ignacio.
We'll see if we see any more substitutions on the Pitt side, but their subs look pretty quiet on the bench right now. So I think Pitt's going to go into the half with the group that they have on the field. They'll be looking to figure out some strategies in the second half to get themselves on the score sheet. I think they've been a little bit disjointed in the final third. Haven't quite been able to find that chemistry, that extra run, that extra touch that they need to be able to make a clear goal scoring opportunity. High Point been getting back in numbers to be able to defend them and break up their passing game.
Grenning taking Geigler one-on-one. It's going to be a goal kick. Went off of Grenning on the way by.
Geigler did a good job of recovering to be able to make that play. And the final bounce was off Grenning. Geigler laying out. Geigler from Heidelberg in Germany. He's another transfer, came from the University of West Florida. Coming from the Division II level, like Celestine Blondell from Coca. A couple of these High Point transfers came from Division II programs, and they've been able to get into the lineup and contribute right away.
Mohamed Sadu pressed up by Grenning. Ignacio. Geigler sends it forward. It'll be a throw-in.
We'll see Pitt how they're able to attack in this moment, what their strategies are.
Pitt desperately needs a first half goal.
Well, they've been masters of second half goals, so I'm not sure how likely it is to come in the first, but some of their key moments have been in the first 5 or 10 minutes of second halves. Thorson gets a yellow for chucking himself in the direction of the ball. Probably a bit of frustration there by Thorson, I would think. As we mentioned, Pitt sort of struggling to put it all together in the final third. Watch here, Thorson just kind of chucks himself after the ball's gone, so that's a clear foul and a yellow card.
Bo Jans with the assist tonight. A DiFrancesco goal. Yeah, Pitt with just 8 of their 30 goals this year coming in the first half. They have a +20 margin in the second half. But regardless, with the way things have been going, you haven't had a goal in 3 halves here. To try and get one before halftime would boost your spirits, you've got to think, in a big way.
Yeah, and they hadn't given up too many goals in the first half either, but last 2 games have given up first half goals and found themselves under pressure as a result and not dictating the game quite as much as they'd want to. Yes, they've had some possession numbers, but the quality in the final third has just been lacking, and they're going to have to find that rhythm and find that attacking prowess that they've shown so much of this season. And so Pitt will be seeking solutions to those problems at halftime. And for me, you've got to do something a bit different, whether it's different runs that you make, maybe a matchup, maybe a personnel decision, but what they've been doing this first half hasn't led to clear goal scoring opportunities. And maybe it's part of the game plan that Cal was successful with on Friday night, but they were able to get numbers back and break up attacking plays and disrupt Pitt. Teams, we've seen them willing to allow Pitt to have this space of possession through the middle, but closing the gap once they get towards the final third, and High Point's been good with that tonight, and the Cal Golden Bears were good with that on Friday night. So turning that possession into penetration and goal scoring opportunities is critical to the success of this game.
Grennan cutting it back.
Yeah, and you see the numbers for High Point just closing down the ball, breaking up the passing lanes. All 11 players are back in that defensive final third, doing everything they can to make sure Pitt doesn't get that goal scoring opportunity, and they'll continue to do that throughout the night. Just the 1 substitution to this point for Pitt. I think High Point's made 4, so you see just a greater use of depth, compounding the tired legs and the illness for Pitt that we've seen and talked about. So we'll see what halftime adjustments they're able to make as this half winds down.
You're so right about Pitt's entry to the attacking third, and High Point just sprints at the ball and put the ball under as much pressure in tight spots as you can. When you do that, it's suffocating. You can't get a clean look at the net.
Yeah, and there's certainly a game plan coming in here. Sam Cowell wins a foul.
3 jerseys around him right there too, though.
Yep. So, but there's strategies to stop teams, and High Point's been able to scout Pitt and see what they like to do and how they like to do it, and they've developed a plan of how to stop it.
Just under 40 seconds to play in the first half. Pitt with a free kick from a dangerous spot. Searching for a finisher and an equalizer before that halftime buzzer. Mayufo sends it in. Back post, searching for Sam Cowell. Pitt wins a corner. They're going to want to rush and get it off before the buzzer.
Yeah, 25 seconds. You've got plenty of time, so be quick, but no need to rush.
Short. 15 seconds to play in the first. A strike here up top from the top of the box. Feitosa tried to get on top of it. The final 10 seconds of the first half. So Pitt, for the second consecutive game, down 1-0 at half.
Yeah, big test for the Pitt Panthers on their home field, under the gun again. And they have a lot of adversity to overcome, and they'll need some second half adjustments to be able to claw their way back. That he's looking to get up the right-hand side a bit more in this second half, and you can see Coach Vidovic talking to the assistant referee on the far side, the fourth official, and I'm sure he just took another look at that goal that High Point scored, and he's probably wondering why no call for the piggyback ride.
Yeah, if that's how this game, if the result holds up anyway, you can start calling it the piggyback game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Sorensen's a big lad, and I'm sure he can shoulder it, but, you know, that's a foul. The more I see it, the more clear it is, so I'm not sure why the ref himself didn't see it. And it's one thing to sort of use the defender for some height, for some leverage, but that was taking it to the next level, and I thought really kind of blatant.
But for now, it's his 4th goal of the year, regardless.
Yeah, and in terms of adjustments for High Point getting into the second half, I see Kaya Ignacio's out there, number 9. Looks like he has replaced Alfred Barfi down that left-hand side.
Lasse Dahl, number 22 in white, stays on for Pitt. There's Bo Yance. He had the service on the DiFrancesco goal in the first half. Everybody kind of looking to the sideline right now. Discussion going on with Jay Vidovic.
He's probably talking to the ref about the goal as well, but we'll see. It's like, hey, I've just had a chance to watch it. I don't understand why you didn't go look at it. Jay, not a happy camper. But no, we'll see what they're talking about. I do see Kevin Johnson stayed out there to start the second half for High Point.
You know, it's not often you see the game stopped for a conversation with the head coach like this, with a goal kick coming. I guess that's the Jay Vidovic effect.
Yeah, I mean, respect. The officials give him respect. He gets respect. And sometimes when you got something to say, you need to be listened to. So he saw something he didn't like. Got the referee's attention. But it's important that Pitt is able to focus on the task at hand. High Point the same. They've got an opportunity to get a big win here tonight. Pitt needs to do everything they can to prevent them from doing so.
Lasse Dahl with a run up the right side. Sends this one toward the net. And that's over everybody and across the end lines. Goal kick coming.
Yeah, cross a bit heavy, but we've seen Pitt really attack down the right-hand side coming out of halftime breaks. No Svenby tonight, so it's going to have to be Dahl. He's galloping down the right-hand side, but he's not able to hook the cross back enough and can't connect with Sam Cow in the middle.
Josh Caron to boot it away.
High Point with some adjustments of their own. No Kruger to start the second half. Coming out with a bit more defensive shape. Bo Yance. Looks like more of a 5-back for High Point at this point. Certainly wing backs. Bo Yance on the left-hand side and Geigler on the right. Jefferson Amaya has slipped in at centre back, so he is flanked by Pseudo and Kamarath on his right and his left, and so that's a big change for High Point for this second half to try to ensure that they're able to hold off the Pitt attack, accounting for Pitt's halftime adjustments, knowing that they like to come out and attack down that right-hand side more. I think they've got a bit more defensive coverage going into the second half, so be interesting to see how that plays out for them.
Grenning, right-footed ball into the box, looking for Thorson. Nice job by High Point to track it. There's Johnstone, I think, in there.
Yeah, Thorson was kind of waiting for it there. He had to sort of hang around a bit, and that gave the defenders opportunity to clear it off.
It was Kamrath with the defense.
Here you see that chance. Grenning able to get the ball over, but yeah, Kamrath gets in before the ball can get to Thorson, and Thorson was just sort of waiting for it. Gave the defender an opportunity to nip in there.
Big run here for Blondell. Blondell working on Mayufo, leaves it out wide. Gagla to Ignacio, loose in the box. Strike from Coven Johnson, hometown kid, has it blocked, and then Carter will clean it up on the backside.
Yeah, I think Coven Johnson's eyes just got real big as that ball landed in front of him, but he wasn't able to get his shot off very effectively, and it was blocked by Pitt Panthers. Interesting to see these second half adjustments. We'll see how it plays out.
In the Coven Johnson fan section here in front of us, a bunch of purple shirts, and it says "Real Panthers are purple" in the Battle of the Panthers tonight.
That's bold coming in here to Pittsburgh with that kind of t-shirt. You know, those are fighting words.
So far, they're winning the fight. Dahl with another cross that can't find anybody.
Yeah, Dahl's got to be able to pull it back a little bit more effectively there. That's two that have drifted away behind the goal. But he's going to be matched up this whole second half with Bo Yance. That's going to be a matchup we definitely are going to want to pay attention to. We'll see if Pitt can identify where the space on the field is going to be the second half. High Point not as concerned with scoring the second goal, way more concerned with breaking up Pitt's attacking opportunities and countering the adjustments that they would make.
Ball up top now. Blondell is onside. Tries to take a shot, and Carter got a hand on it.
Well, it's a massive save and a great opportunity for High Point there that they're not able to convert. Blondell was off to the races. Great opportunity created there. He was onside. Mayufu had his running shoes on, gives him a little nudge there. Carter leaves the left leg out, drags it, and is able to make the kick save. That's a big moment defensively for Pitt. High Point looked for their opportunity on the counter there, but wasn't able to convert, but that was a key moment. Look at the save here by Carter. Just extends his leg and is able to kick it away.
And if you're looking for a moment for Pitt to try and swing the momentum back in their direction after 3 halves of scoreless play from them, that might be one. And you could tell from Carter standing up after the save to implore his team, like, let's go. This one with a chip into the box. Carter there again with Blondell breathing down his neck.
Another massive save by Cabral Carter. That was another golden opportunity for the High Point Panthers to get a most important second goal in this game. 2 massive saves by Carter. Great service into the box. It's Johnson. Picks out his teammate at the far post, but Carter reads it and is able to lay his body on the line for the block. That's a second chance there for Blondell. He's had 2 golden opportunities in the last minute of this game to double High Point's lead. You look at that replay there, he's onside.
Great service from Johnson. Carter back-to-back great saves to keep his team in it. Ignacio launching this over the top, looking for DiFrancesco. This time it is offside.
Cabral Carter standing tall in net to really keep Pitt in this game. They're going to have to be aware of those counter opportunities and the way that High Point is pressing the line.
Now Pitt with a run of its own. Up top for Grenning. Geigla on him. Cuts it back right foot. Now out to Mayufo. Gonna send it back to Sorensen.
Pitt's got to recycle their attacking line there. They're looking for the ball to get delivered. High Point was able to force Pitt's attack back.
Yount's able to keep possession, send it forward. DiFrancesco cut off by Gilman.
Yeah, we knew High Point would look to do this, but they are looking to get the ball quick in a hurry when they win possession through the middle of the field. DiFrancesco was the target man there. I don't know if he was wearing leggings in the first half, but he's definitely got leggings on now. I didn't notice that if it was that way in the first half. So the cold is being felt here in Pittsburgh tonight. Fall has arrived.
Easy for you to say with a window in front of you.
Oh, man. Too old to get cold, Kev. Can feel it in my knees.
Just bring a proper jacket and, you know, you'll be fine. Like all our fellow fans out here.
You told me not to open the window.
Jay's got his jacket on.
Jay's got 6 layers on under there.
No, I said you could take the window out if you'd like.
I'm getting soft. That's it. I've gone soft. I do want to welcome Deb Abiodun to the broadcast tonight. She's down in the control room with our crew. The star of the Pitt women's soccer team is sitting in on the broadcast, so we're trying to do a good job to help her prepare for her career in TV broadcasting. Hopefully she's enjoying this contest and getting a good look at the inner workings of Pitt Studios down in the control room.
Typically, TV careers kind of happen by accident.
I know this one did. I was just excited to meet an Olympian. You know, it's been quite some time since I was hanging out with Olympians. So
it's true.
Hopefully some of her greatness rubbed up on us.
Yeah, I agree. I hope so. Star of the Pitt women's side. Pitt men in trouble right now. Looking to right the ship after an upset loss on Friday. High Point giving them everything they can take right now.
Yeah, and we knew they would. High Point riding a 7-game win streak into town tonight.
Big South favorites to start the year. Haven't lost a conference match since 2019, which is just ridiculous. Tonight with an 8-3 shot advantage over Pitt. Possession numbers at halftime were tipped in favor of Pitt, as they typically are, but 1-0 on the scoreline. Questionable goal by Frankie DiFrancesco after climbing the back of Nicholas Sorensen to get a header in.
Pitt's forwards just kind of lined up on the halfway line, waiting for the ball to get delivered to them, and Pitt is unable to find them.
Coven Johnson, great job switching fields here, wide right. Header in by Ignacio, handled easily. Carter's going to look to distribute.
Yeah, I think Pitt's got to find a way to build through their midfield. They've looked disconnected through that midfield, and they need to get it back. Geigla with the service into the box. Ignacio getting up and getting a header on goal. Cabral Carter is there again. 3rd save of the half, and he's made a huge impact in that regard. The commander-in-chief standing up and being counted at a key moment, multiple key moments.
DiFrancesco with a strike. Carter, another save. Bo Jens shot in. Gilman was there to stop it this time. And booted out of there. The Pitt back line, goalkeeper standing tall.
Yeah, and they have to find ways to keep Pitt in this game right now. They're struggling to build their momentum. High Point's able to find DiFrancesco there, who gets a shot off. Carter stretches out for it. Sullivan, not a good clearance. Goes right back to Bo Jans, and Gilman saves it with his face. Finally, the Panthers are able to dig it clear. And I see there's a man down on the far side.
It's just Cabral Carter's second game since coming back off a concussion protocol.
That's Sorensen on the ground, holding his hamstring, wincing. He missed the last game due to illness. I would imagine it's Gamboa Gonzalez is going to come on and to replace him.
There he is. Gamboa Gonzalez had 56 minutes against Cal on Friday. Long run for him.
Pitt's depth really being tested this week. You mentioned just a week ago they were beating Denver. Well, you know, they sustained injuries and then illness took over the squad. We've talked about it a number of times, but Pitt's definitely got a lot of depth in this squad, but it has really been tested this week. They really miss Felipe Mercado, holding centre midfield player. He's been nursing an injury for a while. We know Feitosa's been trying to overcome injuries, and just a number of those guys really being tested as they overcome illness, and it's affected them. You can see it. You can see it these last two games, and they're really trying to gut out this game tonight. High Point proven to be a worthy adversary.
I think the Mercado loss is a big one that kind of doesn't get talked about as much because they were on that win streak while he was out, but he's missed 7 of the last 8 games.
Yeah, I think he just started practicing again on Friday, so maybe he'll be ready for the weekend. We'll see. Big matchup with North Carolina. I think you were telling me it's Saturday, not Friday, so
it is Saturday.
That would be good for Pitt to get another day of rest or work in before that matchup gets here. Granning fighting down the left-hand side, wins his team a corner, and perhaps an opportunity for Pitt to get themselves on level terms. You see Mercado on the right there.
I could use whatever he's drinking there.
Yeah, I could use
something
a beanie
warm.
hat.
Yeah, beanie hat would be nice. Feitosa to take the corner. Sent in for Gilman, and Sadu gets rid of it. It'll be another corner coming from the other side.
Yeah, it was a different look. It was a big corner kick to the far side. Gilman heading it back in. Feitosa drilling it over. Gilman trying to set up the second chance to Villamitjana. Now they'll try from the other side.
Mateo Mayufo. Back post this time, punched out by Karen. Lined in, Sadu there with a block. Gets physical with Gilman.
Yeah, there was a lot going on over there. High Point fighting off the attack from the corner. Sadu defending strong. You can see the confidence in High Point. I mean, that was going in the top corner, in my opinion, from Maufu, maybe an Olympico.
And at this rate, maybe that's Pitt's best bet, you know? Try to bend it in.
Well, you got to try everything.
They got guys that can do it.
Try anything that you've got in your arsenal to find a way to get yourself on the score sheet, turn the tide, change the momentum. Big minutes from some of the subs for High Point tonight. Ignacio to start the second half. He's spelling his teammate. Coven Johnson out there covering a lot of ground in the midfield. Again, Pitt's forwards looking to stack the line. We'll see if the service can come through. Again, High Point forces the Panthers backwards. So we mentioned Pitt's only been shut out twice this year, both in 1-0 losses. There are only 2 losses to this point. But they have lost that scoring feeling, and they are trying desperately to get it back at this point in time. But they have faced resolute defending. And a team in a great form. 7-game win streak, as we mentioned, for High Point.
Pitt averaging 2.5 goals a game this year. It's good for sixth in the country.
Pitt also averaging 14.5 shots a game, and they've been off that pace as well.
11-4 in favor of High Point tonight is the shot margin.
Yeah, and I mean, when was the last time we saw slanted numbers like that against Pitt? So High Point has done a great job coming in here and creating opportunities for themselves. They had a shout for a penalty there, not getting given by the ref.
Blondell trying to draw it, booted all the way to the other side.
Sam Cowell was offside.
Jefferson Amaya goes down at the end of that play. Zach Haynes trying to calm his team down.
Well, and I think the ref's going to go perhaps look at this. He's walking off to that side of the pitch. I can't tell if he's going to look at the video board or if he's going to talk to Haynes, but it looks like he might be going to have a look at the TV screen.
Blondell finally gets up back there.
Finn Geigler was up in arms, literally, with the penalty shout. I'd like to see that opportunity again. I can't even recall the last game we had where there wasn't a video replay. So the claim is that Gilman got a whack on Blondell. Blondell got his leg in before, but I'm not sure you're going to get a penalty for that. And I've got to get my Everton reference in for the night, but, you know, Everton don't get penalties like that, so I don't think anyone else should. But we'll see. There was contact, and we'll see what the referee has to say.
Cue the Jeopardy music. Well, let's say this. I mean, if they call this a foul, I'm not sure what the DiFrancesco goal was.
Yeah, I think that's what's so interesting about
how does this one get looked at?
Yeah, the decision to go have a look at it. I mean, if the referee wasn't intent himself on seeing it, one of his assistants advised him to go take a look. But yeah, I really thought the goal that High Point scored was a controversial goal in itself, and so it was surprising that that wasn't reviewed. But we'll see.
Still looking. Here it comes. J.C. Griggs, our official tonight.
Judging from that, no penalty. We're going to go with the offside up this end. So I believe it'll be High Point ball where Sam Cowell was offside, but we'll see.
Seems right. That's what it'll be.
Or maybe it's a throw-in. Let's have a look. I mean, I've seen him given for less. Blondell gets first to the ball, but according to the English Referees Association, that's not a penalty, I believe. I forget what their wording was.
Under 30 minutes to go at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Kevin Wheeler and David Day with you tonight. Number 1 Pitt in danger of losing their 2nd straight match to an unranked opponent. High Point on a 7-game win streak. Longest in the country right now. And they've given Pitt everything they can handle tonight so far.
Yeah, and Pitt struggled to find answers. See their turnover forced by Ignacio. Gets High Point going on the counter.
Sullivan cuts off Ignacio.
Good recovery there, but to be honest, Pitt's kind of lost their midfield. Thorson playing attacking center midfield is pressing the line. Feitosa's playing pretty high himself. Villamitjama's back there, sitting just above the defenders. And you see there it was Coven Johnson is able to disrupt it. He does give away the foul, but there's a big hole in the middle there. And I think Pitt's really losing that midfield battle. Perhaps trying too easily to bypass it and find their forwards, but with High Point's halftime adjustment, they've got 5 defenders back there and they've been able to contain it to this point. So we'll see how Pitt is able to build, if they're able to get some numbers in and through that midfield. High Point continues to pick opportunities to press the ball. See there, long ball to Sam Cow.
Flicks it on, looking for Thorson. Sadu able to clear.
So Sam Cow won the header but couldn't find the support. Now we'll see how they go again. Sullivan drifted more through the midfield there.
Gamboa Gonzalez looking up top here for Grenning. Great ball. Now to Sam Cow out wide.
That's what they're looking for, is win ahead and knock it down to a teammate. But again, High Point's forcing them back away from the goal. They're almost back to the halfway line again.
Sam Cow fighting off defenders. Lost a doll out wide. Has it taken away by Ants. Jefferson Amaya is down at the midfield.
It's another curious decision. I think Feitosa's saying that he wanted the foul there. Not sure what the call's going to be. Perhaps it's a Pitt throw-in, or somebody's throw-in. All the players look confused.
There has been a little bit of confusion tonight. Amaya to his feet. It'll be a throw-in for Pitt.
Okay, all right then. Makes sense.
We got there. That was the result of the initial play.
Yeah.
Not sure why there was so much conversation, but...
Well, I thought there was a foul or 2 fouls in the middle of the field that the ref didn't call. We played an advantage, and then the advantage broke down. So I think that's where some of the confusion came from. For me personally, you know, there wasn't a lot of times that I would want an advantage played in that scenario. If we have the opportunity for a set piece from the top of the box, I would want my team to have that opportunity. You know, maybe it was 30, 35 yards out, but if there's a foul there, you would want it.
And behind the ref here, Thorson and DiFrancesco collide and go down. Thorson's still down on the ground on the near side. And High Point plays on. This one in for DiFrancesco, tries another flick with his head. Goes across the end line.
TV timeout.
And they're going to look to see if there's a foul behind the play, I think. Here's the play by Blondell into DiFrancesco. It's going to end up with a corner eventually, it looks like. So behind the play, bottom of your screen, 9 and 11.
Yeah, they had some tangled arms. Both went down.
So J.C. Griggs will go look at it as we going to have to wait for the corner to come after the video review.
Oh, that's a good look from our camera there. We can see exactly what he's looking at. Oh, got blocked. I was just excited we might actually see what they're looking at there.
Give us something to talk about?
Yeah, there's some interference there. We'll have to rely on our own angles, but... So here you can see 9 and 11. Yeah.
It's... Not sure how you're going to call that.
Well, I mean, the key thing there is, you know, they weren't swinging arms, right? So a lot of times you're looking to see if an arm is swung back in a dangerous manner. They were both just sort of almost pushing each other off, just sort of like straight arming each other. No foul. We're going to have a corner. Okay.
So Jefferson Amaya will go take it.
Another important time for players to keep their heads. Ref talking to Thorson and DiFrancesco there about their coming together.
Conversation concludes. Fourth corner kick of the night for High Point. And the set piece maestro, Jefferson Amaya, will take it. High Point with that 1-0 lead. Curls toward the box. That one by Camrath. Gets loose. Ignacio hits the crossbar.
Pitt survives another High Point opportunity. This time saved by the crossbar.
What a shot by Ignacio. And what luck for Pitt.
Yeah, the former Virginia man was licking his chops at that opportunity. Looked like it was going in as well, but thwarted by the crossbar.
31 games with Virginia, played Pitt a handful of times. And I think he'd love scoring against his old ACC foe.
That was a good look on goal, that's for sure. And that's a number of opportunities High Point has had to extend their lead that they haven't capitalized on, and we'll see if it comes back to haunt them or not. They've been good quality tonight, really battled in this game and given Pitt everything that they can handle. Big halftime adjustment going from 4 at the back to 5. Here's Ignacio. Yeah, I mean, he gets a good rip on it. It just hits the underside of the crossbar and bounces out.
What a job to even just put it on target from that spot.
Yeah, Sullivan was doing a good job in closing down the angle, so maybe he didn't get quite as, you know, good of a low hit on it. Had to avoid Sullivan in the process of getting the shot off.
And now for the first time in the second half, Brendan Kruger will come on. Blondell to the bench, so he will be done for the night. No re-entry in the second half this year.
I think Pitt's got to do a better job of having their attacking players check towards the ball. You see Granning there leaves his man to come down and find it. I think they need a bit more of that. It's too easy to defend when you're just standing there waiting for it, as Sam Cowell has been, and Thorson's been doing that a lot. So you got to come back and find it, pull your man down into those soft spaces, create space in behind for your teammates. They see Sam Cowell checking to it, but he's not able to control it, and there's no one going in behind yet. So I think for me, I'm looking to see a bit more movement in terms of these Pitt attackers come back and find the ball a little bit more effectively, create more confusion for the High Point back line, make it harder to defend, find ways to test them, which they have struggled to do so far in this game.
High Point looking for that 8th straight win. And Pitt desperately wants to avoid another home loss. It would be their 2nd straight in a place where they rarely lose.
I can confirm DiFrancesco does not have pants on. He's just got his socks pulled up real high, so that solves that mystery. Can see a bit of his kneecaps now.
Lasadol winning possession, top of the box. Sam Cow now. It's Feitosa in there, has it poked away.
Geigler was able to put a body on Feitosa quickly.
Grenning a liner with the left foot, got underneath it.
Pitt almost breaking through there, but Feitosa is frustrated. His opportunity snuffed out. Sam Cow was able to pick him out. Almost had a goal scoring opportunity, but High Point just collapses that pocket really quick. Fight away the 2nd opportunity, and Grenning lofts the 3rd.
Thorson comes off. Miguel Bertrand will enter for Pitt.
So it's just not happening for the Pitt Panthers right now. Struggling to connect and form cohesive attacking looks. They've struggled to get a push going. High Point's done a good job of snuffing them out and rotating their personnel, changing their look. Coven Johnson's played this whole 2nd half in central midfield. He's partnered well with Ross Johnstone. Bertrand looking to be dynamic and creative through that attacking centre midfield position. We'll see if he's able to add some influence to this game. He's got a good burst to him and some good creativity and skill, and Pitt really needs it right now.
Grenning was upset with himself after that. Wanted to get more air under it for Dahl.
Looks like Pitt will rotate it back over to the left side. Continuing to probe and change the point of attack.
So what do you think, David, the result of not having Casper Svenby has been tonight for Pitt? Do you see anything different for them?
I mean, yeah, not being able to have that explosiveness up the right-hand side. They've obviously missed him in the same way they missed Willemit the last game. They missed Sorensen the last game. And so I think just, you know, they'd had such a consistent lineup and consistent approach that they're just a little bit out of rhythm and out of whack, and they can't quite find the answers. And teams have come in with game plans and been able to frustrate them. I think High Point's really played very well here tonight. They've been effective with their game plan. They've had some real good opportunities.
Dahl sent that in. That was Feitosa looking for a near post header. Mayufo gets it on the backside.
But there's a lot of purple shirts back behind the ball, all of them, to be honest. And High Point continues to work both ends to be able to frustrate Pitt. Just haven't been able to get clean looks. You see there, Sudo again with the block. He's been big at the back. Feitosa's struggled to impose his will on this game. So I think just Pitt has been struggling, and you know, when they miss key players, it's been evident that it's hurt them.
Mayufo, cross in, it's up for grabs. Karen and Dahl collide. Gonna call a foul on Lasadol there.
And he paid the price for throwing himself at the ball as well. He laid it out on the line to try to get a connection and get it into the back of the net. Goalie does a good job of protecting his goal, punching it away. Pitt with a nice little sustained spell there, but High Point again was able to get numbers back. Nice effort by the keeper, but Dahl comes off worse for wear.
Pitt hoping Dahl can get up. Already a little bit short-handed tonight. They just took Thorson out.
Sorensen's come out as well, so you know they're continue to rely on their depth to get them through these games. And you know, some of these younger guys just don't have the same amount of experience. We talked about Bertrand having played his first 90 minutes the last game, and now he's in there at a critical moment where his team needs him to be able to help influence this game. Villamitjana, who missed the last game, he's got to go 90 out there tonight. So I think just the taxation, the workload, because it's not just the fact that you're available and out there, but you know the ability to get guys a break has been lost by the problems that Pitt's had with illness this week, and they've just struggled to overcome it. Got to find some solutions.
Dahl up, he'll join his teammates and stay on. Freshman from Denmark. That infusion of Scandinavian energy into the Pitt recruiting class this year has been huge.
Dahl's going to come right back in. He has to check out since he received treatment, so he's just going to go over to the sideline and check back in as soon as the game's restarted.
Dahl comes on behind the play. Ignacio, nice back touch there to Kruger. Kruger lofts it in. Carter able to snag it out of the air. DiFrancesco was hunting.
Carter's really stood up this second half. That's another fine play by the keeper. We'll see if Pitt's able to find a way through. We'll see if High Point's able to hold them off, perhaps extend their lead. But High Point's been really good value for money so far tonight. Implemented their game plan very effectively. Made adjustments. Used their depth.
Nice tackle by Mayufo.
And I think a game like this for High Point kind of shows what they've learned to this point in the season. The coach talked about the fact that, you know, they needed to learn how to win games over 90 minutes, how to compete for 90 minutes. They had to get some experience to their newer players and learn lessons on the road. So I think they've done all those things today. They've taken the lessons they've learned from losing to Marshall and NC State, and to be honest, we'll see how it plays out the next 15 minutes. If High Point is able to hold on and close out Pitt here in Pittsburgh, or if Pitt is able to find a way through to get back on level terms and change the momentum of this game. So it's certainly poised extremely well. High-level matchup of college soccer on a Monday night for sure.
High Point, a program that's made 3 of the last 5 NCAA tournaments. Amaya taking this corner. Ignacio at the top of the box, tried to find Kruger. Goal kick coming for Carter, and a restart quickly.
Yeah, there was no pass intended by Ignacio there, Wheels. That was straight shot, but wasn't able to find the target. Looked like Pitt was going to bust out quick, but High Point's done a good job of getting back again, getting behind the ball, numbers back, making it hard for Pitt to find a way through. Sullivan there laying out to try to keep the ball in play and gets a knock for his trouble.
Sullivan hurt behind the play. Camrath comes over, checks on him.
Sully's going to shake it off. It's going to take more than that to keep him down.
great fight by this High Point program tonight.
Yes, first time we're seeing them and really putting a good account of themselves. Came to play, have been really well organized and effective in what they've tried to do. Great energy and bursts of speed up top. Managing the game effectively to this point. Created some really nice chances in this second half as well. It's only really because of Carter that the score is still 1-0.
Zach Haynes took over a program that was already solid and has turned it into one of the most consistent mid-majors in the country. This ball in from Dahl, it's still loose, but Karen is there. Sam Cow was hovering around the ball. Josh Karen on the back end, able to grab it. The High Point faithful loving what they're seeing from the keeper.
Sam Cow tried to nip in. Looked like for a second there that the keeper might lose it, but he did a good job of holding on to it, Josh Karen. Good service by Dahl. Sam Cow just a hair too late, and the goalie holds on to the ball. Despite the disruption, it's hard when a player comes in front of you like that. But that's a good effort. And this would be a huge victory for High Point if they can hold on to it, claiming the scalp of the #1 team in the country.
Certainly a signature win for them and for Zach Haynes. Pitt at #1 in the RPI as well, so it'd be a huge resume booster for High Point to come on the road and get a W once it gets down to tournament time at the end of the year. And they're so used to winning Big South titles that
he talked about the fact they'd need to be at their best tonight here in Pittsburgh, and I think that's part of something that we can recognize as they've been very good tonight. They've given Pitt everything that they can handle. Moved the ball really effectively, dynamic in their attack. And certainly strong defensively.
It's offside there.
Coach Haynes always loves these matchups, is always searching for games against ACC opponents. He knows these are the type of teams that they have the potential to face at tournament time, and wants his team to be prepared for it. And what a good learning experience this has been for his squad, and what it would mean if they're able to win their 8th straight game and do it here in Pittsburgh.
Haynes had the #19 recruiting class by Top Drawer Soccer coming into this year, and I really loved what he had to say about how he constructed his roster. A lot of transfers on this team this year, but he was able to get guys from the portal that had 2, 3, and 4 years of eligibility left. So he's able to still build his program while bringing in some experience from other programs.
Yeah, there's a nice balance in this squad, not too heavy in any one class.
Of course, with the freshman class too, and DiFrancesco and Coven Johnson, guys that will develop, that are already contributing big minutes.
Yeah, it's huge. You look at the discipline, the numbers back, organization. That's where you have a veteran like Johnstone getting out there and just putting himself about to make it difficult for Pitt to find a way through. Same for Johnson there, dogged, staying on Feitosa, holding the middle of the park.
Under 10 minutes to play at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Pitt in danger of dropping their 2nd straight game to an unranked team on its home field. Searching for that equalizer late.
Yeah, they need something special, and they need it pretty soon.
Ball batted around. Grenning. Excuse me, is my UFO in there. Maintaining possession as they have for much of the game. Haven't gotten many clean looks at the net again. So interesting, on Friday, Miguel Bertrand had a great chance early in the match. You know, you think if that goal goes in, Pitt takes an early lead against Cal. How much different would the game have been?
Yeah, but I think this has been a different type of game tonight.
Header in the box, over the net. Sullivan in on it.
Maufu's able to get some service into the box here. Sullivan rising up high, but he's not able to bring the header down.
Johnstone heads to the bench for High Point. Boffey comes on. What a weapon to trot his speed out there with 9 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, Pitt's going to have to keep taking chances to try to get that magic moment. And I think, you know, for High Point, if they can ice this game, if they can find a way to get a second. Coven Johnson did tremendous with his minutes out there tonight. We mentioned how successful Pitt is here and how successful they are when they score first, but you know, when they concede first, it's sometimes a different story. They struggle to impose their will on the game, and if they're not able to get back on level terms, and sometimes they appear to be pressing.
Boffey with a great move to get past Sullivan, but then Sully there, take it back. Brendan Kruger. Sullivan now looking to launch a counter for Pitt.
Boy, Sully just keeps working. He's all over the park. He's up attacking. He's winning the ball in the back and carrying it out. Getting run at by Alfred Boffey. I mean,
and he had the header chance on the other end of the field.
That's what I mean. He's going to sleep well tonight.
Yeah.
You know, he's covering a lot of ground and doing a lot of dirty work and trying to find a way to get the ball into the back of the net. So credit to him. Playing right back tonight. Played centre back last game, holding centre midfield last game, so he's done well. But Pitt's got to find a spark, and to me it's got to come through the central midfield. Arnie Villamitjana, Miguel Bertrand, Guilherme Feitosa, those are the guys you look to really get it going. Obviously Granning's dangerous down the left, Dahl down the right, but they've got to be able to make something happen if they want to avoid their second straight defeat.
You wonder how many of these guys for Pitt are fighting illness. We don't have a full diagnosis of who's sick and who's not, but it seems like whatever's going through the team, those flu-like symptoms is certainly working its way through from what we heard today. Villamitjana missed Friday's game, his first game back. Wonder how his legs are feeling.
Well, also it's the workload factor, right? And I think that's one of the biggest things I see is just, you know, whether you're coming back from illness or missed time from illness, more is expected of you because other guys are missing. And I think just the legs are missing a little bit of that spark, a little bit of juice. A little bit of that chemistry is lacking. They're just struggling to find the answer right now.
Free kick now for Pitt. Just over 6 minutes to play. Header towards Samkow, slides, couldn't get a foot on it.
That was the opportunity that they were looking for. Feitosa with the delivery, looking for Samkow at the far post. It's a nice ball played in. Samkow just can't quite stretch out enough to get there. Pitt is left frustrated once again. Unable to find the back of the net.
Couldn't lay it out there in a much better place.
Maybe one last roll of the dice for Pitt. Sees Eben McIntyre come on.
McIntyre was able to earn a penalty in Friday's match against Cal, which eventually Marco Brocker, the keeper for Cal, was able to save on Luis Samkow's attempt on the PK. comes Pitt. Bertrand with a nice ball up to Sullivan. Centers it up for Feitosa, back to the other side now, Grenning. Left-footed cross toward the net. It was a flick on by Sam Cowell, and Karen will lay on top of it.
Good cross into the box here. Grenning's able to deliver. There was a little play going off there on the side as well, but Sam Cowell's coming back on it a bit and just not able to get enough head flick, enough strength on the header. The keeper's able to make a relatively routine save. Maufu in the build-up there got knocked over. He felt like he'd got fouled, but the ref played on.
Under 5 minutes to play.
But Pitt generating a little bit more down the stretch here, and they'll be seeing if they can keep working it.
Maufu ends up in the arms of Karen, deflected by Sadu.
This time Maufu down the left-hand side. Sadu's able to get a touch on it, and the keeper's able to catch the cross and relieve the danger.
It's a good run by Sam Cowell in there. If Sadu hadn't gotten a foot on it, you wonder what would have happened. Pitt continuing to apply pressure in the waning moments of this match on a Monday night at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Trying to avoid their second consecutive home loss to an unranked team. High Point trying to win 8 straight. Keep that Division I longest win streak intact.
Yeah, they've been doing well. Coming here tonight and proving it.
They've taken it to Pitt. 14-7 advantage in the shots department. Through the box, goal kick. Corners are even, basically 5-4 advantage to High Point.
There was another build-up play by Pitt that just couldn't quite pull off.
So Coven Johnson will get a nice hand as he leaves in front of his family and friends, a hometown kid from Pittsburgh.
Aiden Basil replacing him.
Johnson with 49 minutes tonight. Well played.
Yeah, used to former Shadyside Academy player, went out to Arizona to play at Barcelona Academy. And this is quite the homecoming back to Pittsburgh as a member of the High Point Panthers, the Purple Panthers, that are looking to get out of Pittsburgh with a historic victory for their program.
How many chances remain for Pitt to try and tie this up?
I mean, statistically, you got about 2 at the most, I would say, so we'll see.
Sullivan thought Bertrand was a little bit further up than that. Feitosa sends it in. It's loose. Maufu tried to line it up, and High Point was there again. The frustration is starting to show on the faces of Pitt. About a minute to go at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Gilman to Gamboa Gonzalez. He chips it in. Looking for Bertrand. There's Boffey. 45 seconds to go.
Yes, about one last roll of the dice coming up here for Pitt. It's now or never.
Out wide to Grenning. Can he win the header? Is there going to be a corner coming? Yes. 30 seconds to play for Pitt. This might be their last chance. Feitosa will take it. Pitt looking for the equalizer. Curling it in, near post. Gamboa Gonzalez got a head on it. It goes wide.
Yeah, it's just not to be for Pitt tonight. High Point's come in and pulled off a historic victory. You see here the last chance. Gamboa Gonzalez with the header goes wide of the post. And High Point has scored a goal and held on to the win. Did a good job throughout the game, implementing their game plan. Just a massive win for this program. Congratulations to the High Point Panthers.
The first ever win against a #1 team for High Point. What a win indeed. Frankie DiFrancesco with the game-winning goal in the first half in the 23rd minute. The true freshman continuing his stellar season.